Welcome friends, welcome to Unfold Your Soul. I'm delighted today to be talking about the Venus journey in Capricorn. Venus will be there for 5 months and I've been here in the desert observing her rise as the evening star. And when she will go in her retrograde period, it's to be reborn as the morning star. And this is such a beautiful phenomenon. And because it will be 5 months of Venus beautifying the energy of Capricorn, there's just so much that is coming to me about that. So I'm really looking forward to share all of that with you. There's a few things that I definitely don't want to miss in this first video. So I will be taking on the psychological themes that Venus in Capricorn is going to tackle, already a bit of the calendar, but more especially, what could it mean for you, for your Sun ascendant sign and for your Venus sign. This of course will be general, so if this content resonates with you, and for example you had when Venus was last doing her retrograde period, which was during May, June and July of 2020, if you had profound experiences at that time, whatever color they had, whatever flavor they had, this might particularly resonate with you. And then I would advise you to have a reading with someone, with an astrologer. Might be me or someone else, but this can be very valuable for your spiritual journey and for whatever it is that you are working with, deep-rooted feelings that take a while to come to surface. So today I would like to go into a few of the themes that Venus in Capricorn is tackling, but I am going to go into what it means for each and every sign as well. And it's my invitation as well to have you look up what your natural Venus sign is, because Venus is going to speak to your natal Venus. It's going to speak to all your planets. That's why I'm rooting for a personal reading. But just to give you already a heads up of what you may expect, because from the 19th of December, there will be 40 days that Venus is going to go into the underworld, have her desert walk, and then rise as the morning star. She's still the evening star. I can see her every night shining at me. And she's being so bright and so powerful right now. And because Pluto is in Capricorn, and there's so many themes that have risen up for us in 2020, when Jupiter and Saturn were also in Capricorn. I think this journey is going to be particularly valuable for all of us. At least to meditate upon it and to see whatever you can take with you. Venus, she has a journey in the sky that is one of the most beautiful things to witness. She draws a mandala in the sky. Mandala, or a rose with 5 petals, a 5-pointed star. This is a theory that was developed by the wonderful Ariel Gutman, the Venus star point. And what's so particular about it is that these star points are the moments where Venus kisses the sun. And there's some dogs that are really excited about it. And she does that only in 5 signs. This changes over time as this mandala spirals and flourishes and blossoms. But for now, we are working with 5 particular signs. When I was speaking to May, June and July of 2020, Venus made her retrograde period in Gemini at the time, which is really interesting because that coincided with the nodes of the moon, which define the eclipse season energy. The nodes of the moon were in Sagittarius and Gemini. So our North Node was in Gemini. We were beautifying the archetype of Gemini, the twins, becoming our own best friend. Now that we are going to go through Venus retrograde in Capricorn, this will also coincide with the nodal shift. The North Node will go into Taurus. Now Taurus is not Capricorn, but it's also an earth sign. So that sets a tone for our collective evolution, for our capacity to love and the way we will expand love within this cycle. And the reason why I want to bring this to you now is so you can feel supported, because the divine play, it's so visible when we look at how these energies are working together for us. So first of all, knowing that you can walk with Venus and that this is going to be a gift, and that this is going to be a gift to evolution. The day that Venus is going to go retrograde, she's going to be very close to Pluto. And I pulled up a few dates so you could maybe feel into that, because Pluto and Venus together in their dance and their communication, this is about relationships that change you, a love that changes your belief system, that can change the course of your life, because you will feel differently after having known this person. It stands for karmic relationships, especially when Pluto is opposite Venus, or Venus is opposite Pluto. And the last time that this happened was not so long ago. So Venus opposed Pluto in the summer, actually in June. So it might be interesting to think where you were then and what was going on in your relationships back then. Now the conjunction, we had lost the conjunction at the new moon in Capricorn, which was mid-January. It's also very interesting that this was the new moon in Capricorn, and that now we will have Venus traveling through Capricorn. This new moon in January of 2021 occurred very closely after we had both Jupiter and Saturn exiting Capricorn together. There is an intensity about the transformation. And there is also a beautification of whatever was set in motion karmically for your own purpose, your Jupiter, your Dharma, and for your boundary work, your identity work, your Saturn, the karmic work you came here to do. So bringing all of that together makes this transit extra meaningful. Now, on the 19th of December, it will be during the Gemini moon, the Gemini full moon, that under that energy that Venus will go retrograde, which is particularly interesting given that the last Venus retrograde happened in Gemini. So that's really where we can see that all of this is coming together. And the boundary work that we have done for ourselves in 2020 will now receive its fruits. Like the flower will blossom. How that will happen will be different for all of us. But what's important to know here is that Saturn, the ruler of Capricorn, is exalted in Libra, which is one of the signs ruled by Venus. So what we can, if we think about that, Venus is relationships, but she's also the Taurian expression of self-love. Saturn is discipline, is effort, is hard work, is putting in the effort, is committing to something. And structure and discipline, those are things that do well when we build relationships of any kind. And then discipline also does wonders for our self-love, because when we commit to something and we can see ourselves getting better at something, it does wonders for who we think we can be in the world. And if we believe in ourselves, of course, this goes a great, well, can't find the words right now, but you know what I'm talking about. First thing that comes to mind with that is like, yes, the karmic relationships of this summer, if there were any, they will receive their full glory, in the sense that you will see actually very beautifully what this has brought to you. And by this, I don't mean that there will be longevity. Saturn and Capricorn, in relationship to Venus, they promote, or they love longevity. But it might just be that there were certain no's that you had to introduce, or that your no, your boundary, was tested throughout this period, and that you will reap the fruits of that during the period that Venus will transit in Capricorn. Now, what I was thinking about, if we look at the eclipses and what they have brought to us over the years, in 2019, we were learning how to be our own mother and our own father, because then we had the eclipses in the axis of Cancer and Capricorn. Now, I feel that Venus in Capricorn during the whole transit, so meaning from the 5th of November all the way through the 6th of March, so the whole 5 months of it, there will be a healing of the father wound and the mother wound, whichever is most prominent, or both of them. This is like an update of the 10 commandments, right? Like there is some relationship. Capricorn is related to the mountain goat. Capricorn is also a unicorn. It's insight and initiation. And in that way, it's also related to Moses going up the mountain and receiving the 10 commandments. And there is one that is honor thy father and thy mother. And I feel that with the strong Aquarian energy we have now, and Saturn being in Aquarius, that there will be a sort of NLP, neuro-linguistic programming of that commandment. We're going to rewrite that. What it means to respect your father and your mother will be individual, just like success is an individual thing. It's different for all of us. And I can see that so often in my astrology one-on-one practice with people, that there is a timeline to each of our blossoming. And within that, the father and mother wound, they are addressed, of course, at different periods in our lifetime. One moment is the Saturn return around 29, 30 years old. Second Saturn return 50, 58, 59 years old. Now that's really where we can see the karmic events happening. Now Venus, she is a receptive force. She's a beautifying force. She brings the art of the memory. So we're going to come up with a radically different way to honor the father and the mother. And one way is to honor the father and the mother within us. You are your own mother, you are your own father. These are concepts that came up over the last years, and now as we are beautifying that, depending on where you are on the healing journey, some pain might still have to surface because it's so deep-rooted. And it's not a linear track, the healing journey. It's a spiral. And some things we're going to revisit our entire life, and there's nothing wrong with that. Naturally already, Venus, in Capricorn, she has deep feelings, but they take time to resurface because there are wounds of rejection and abandonment that we deal with. And it's where love is in the bones. It's where we got thick skin because of continuous rejection, which might not be of this lifetime. Often there will be, of course, a representation in the parental reality, but these things are carried on through generations. So that's one thing that we will be working with, is the lineage of the parents, how to tell a more beautiful story. Then there are also the feelings of inner security, the interpretation that we made, the story that we made of how we were in relationship to our parents. Now, Venus wants us to create an entirely new self-image, free from any chains of the past. And that's really wonderful news. This is working with guilt, or a complete vanishing of guilt. Every commitment that you have made, which is based on a duty, will be reevaluated. This can be in terms of work, or the disciplines that you practice, the art that you practice. This can be in relationship to someone in a hierarchy. For example, if you have a boss, or you're self-employed and you have employees, all of these things are possible. Now, eventually, this idea of the past does not represent you. Who you presently are represents you. That's a really beautiful message here. And you are also not responsible for the feelings of others. Now, if there are some chains, some chains you want to break free from, our Venus will deliver that to you. If 2020 brought a lot of goodbyes for many people, right? Personally, in personal relationships, like the value of our values were reshaped, but also in a more professional way. So when we say goodbye to someone or something, first we need to acknowledge our feelings for that something or that someone. And when we have worked through this internally, we can place a really decent goodbye. Decent in a sense that it's the best for all parties involved. And by that I mean also that you can choose from then on, wherever you come from, which are the traditions that I am going to keep with me. Because you might also find that there is great beauty in your ancestral line and some kind of deeper philosophies that they had and that your ancestors practiced. So that's another side of the coin that we might look at. Then there is something that has been coming to me. Capricorn is a sign of silence. Silence is the original language. If Capricorn is a sign of silence, it's a sign of great teaching, of great teachers, of initiation. And in the labors of Hercules, Capricorn is a portal because it is said to be a sign of initiation. Now, if we say that silence is the first language, then sound is also the first language. And what is the first sounds? It's like a laughter and a tear. And Venus is going to teach us to listen differently. Where we once felt or heard rejection, we are now going to be able to hear something completely different, encouragement, and actually take ourselves out of the equation and not make it so personally. Because that's really interesting, because the opposite of Capricorn, the integration sign of Capricorn, Cancer, wants to make it personal. Now, I wanted to say something in relationship to humor. So, laughter, right? Humor. So much of that is defense mechanism. What we find funny or the way we're gonna laugh about things are in relationship with these wounds that we have and that we're gonna laugh about. Now, this serves a purpose. This is a great thing. We need laughter. We need comedians in our life. We need all that. But Capricorn is going to teach a sense of proportion. And I also think that with the beautification of language of the North Node in Gemini that has been happening over the last year and a half, that we are going to be able to redefine what is funny and maybe invent for ourselves a whole new sense of humor, because it's good to laugh. And with that, I come to the flavor of life. So Venus in Capricorn wants to taste life. It wants to create. It wants to build. It wants to, in love, it wants to be held. There's touch, because Capricorn is the skin as well. It's the bones and it's the skin. It's deep body work. It's the kind of defrosting of your emotions through touch. Now, touch, it's also in creating matter, in building. So I'm thinking of sculpting. Might be feeling really nice to sculpt. Creating a beautiful home, building something for the future. Buying a home with someone is something that's going to come up for people. Also buying homes within a community, because that's the whole Taurus energy that is coming up. North Node in Taurus, Uranus, been reworking our values there, the whole archaic revival. That's one thing. Like, what this is really good for Venus in Capricorn is functional decision making. What is good for the family? What is good for the group? What is good for the children? Whatever you relate with. What is good for my professional structure? Can I work in this home? And what comes up there is this Hindu philosophy around the initiation of the man who builds a hut. And then there was the whole storytelling, and there's this story about the three pigs who each build a hut. I don't know if I remember it right, because it's just coming up. There's this idea that this one builds like one out of twigs and or straw, and it's not solid at all, like gets blown over by one blow of the wolf and the pig is eaten and it's done. Then there's one that puts a bit more effort. He's like, okay, no, let's make this out of some like wood. Let's like put in a day of a good day of work. And still, like, it's not good enough. So this not good enough, that's a bit of a shadow side that we're going to work with here. And then there's the third one. And the third one, he's a Capricorn, she's a Capricorn, and she gets an architect involved. Well, she's a really good architect herself and starts drawing the plan with the electricity cables and the plumbing, and gets the right people involved, selects the good quality materials. Another Venus in Capricorn thing, like investing in really good quality materials because it's winter season. He creates a home in a way that he considers, or she considers, what's good for the family, what's good for the children, the benefit of all, and the benefit of duration as well, and longevity, which is a wonderful quality of Venus in Capricorn. Also wanting to pass on something solid to the next generation by creating within oneself the mastery of like how to build something good. And that's something that's really transpiring here with this Capricorn Aquarian energy. And then something that comes through me as well is this remembrance that we're going to have, all of us, as we work with Venus in Capricorn, of lifetimes where we were poor and lifetimes where we were rich, and how that is still resonating and vibrating within our body and creating our experience. Now, it will be a felt experience for many of us. And having lived both, we can choose now. And this is really powerful actually, because it's an initiation in the law of attraction, not in a commercial way, but rather in the law of resonance, the law of attraction as an extension of the law of resonance. What do we resonate with now, or what are we going to choose to resonate with? Because there might be something said for people who are going to value it more if somebody is a self-made man, for example, like he came from nothing. We hear that sentence often, right? So intrinsically, there's something about valuing a more poor upbringing over a person who was born in luxury. But both are an initiation in the shadow of poverty. And so knowing that, all our feelings that are really deep-rooted, like the pain of the Middle Ages or like the struggle of the Dark Ages, something like that to glue a romantic image to it, all of that can be transcended. Then thematically, I'm going to wrap it up with one last theme here. I would like to look at health. I would like to explore more and go deeper, but this will be for a second video. But when it comes to health, I do feel that this transit, like it's really going to be good for the body. We can achieve greater health. For those who were suffering from hip issues, people with a Sagittarian influence, aspects to Sagittarius, people who had issues with their hip, like alignment, sciatica, this is going to get a lot better through this transit. The focus will shift on posture and the fascia, so the layer of tissues underneath the skin that is holding our body and piecing it together. So yoga still, of course, for our structure, but I feel that there is a greater awareness of the placement of our bones, of the skeleton, of the way we are built, that is going to come through us, a greater wisdom of how to beautify our posture and how to have a more healthy posture. So these are really good things that we can work upon, really, really concrete things. Also touch, massage, setting free of emotions through touch. Get a massage, it's going to be super valuable, and to actually make maybe even a commitment to that and make a budget for that, that could be really wonderful. And yes, great time for osteopaths, massage therapists, fascia therapists, and to also study that. So for people who are into the health journey and who are health workers, these are all fields that can be explored in depth, and where when studied, this will bring a lot of fruits during and after this transit. So this is the moment where I move on to a few glimpses on what this can mean for you personally. And this is a Venus reading, so once again, listen to your sun sign and your ascendant sign, but also consider listening to your Venus sign. And then there is, of course, the Venus star point that was active when you were born, but that's a whole other thing. So if you are into astrology, this is something that we can figure out together if you would like that. So Venus is shining bright in the sky. I surely know that she will guide me as I speak to each of the signs individually. And before I do that, one more thing. So as she makes this mandala in the sky, Venus, she is for 9 months the evening star, and that's the period she is in right now as I record this video. But then after her 40-day walk through the desert, she will rise as the morning star. And that's the expression, the Taurian expression of Venus, which is about self-respect, our spiritual values, self-worth, self-love. Basically, it's about sovereignty, authenticity, speaking our truth, our voice. And by that, I mean by no means that you should go through this alone, because it's about self-love and it's a self-love journey. This can also be expressed in a relationship, because Venus, as the sole ruler of Gemini, as the soul guardian of Gemini, wants to reflect the harmony underneath the binary. So I'm going to focus on the light messages that Venus wants to bring. Of course, there is the shadow expression of this, or what we will experience as a shadow expression, because Venus, she represents love, but sometimes that goes with grief. And sometimes this is how we learn the major love lessons. So the question still remains, how can we expand our capacity to love and learn from the good, and through the good, and through the beautiful? And grief is also beautiful, so that's also an aspect of that. But just to say that by no means I want to deny the harsh reality of things, but that I'm going to focus on the light and speak to the potential, the healing potential that your soul has in store for you throughout this journey. So I'm going to start with Capricorn, because you are celebrated here with Venus in your sign. I do feel that you have an entirely new love identity here. And this is something that you have been working on, working with. Your no and your yes are being strongly defined here. And what was no before might be yes now. So a good question to ask yourself is, what is my love identity now? How do I want to experience love? And is this in a relationship, or is this not in a relationship? And committing to that. And 2020 brought enormous growth for you. New definition of love, but also new definitions in work, maybe a new job, new identities there. And this will only be expanded during the retrograde period. You might feel that this is going to come with a test. And I don't really like to use that word. Let's say a challenge, that there will be somebody new introduced into your life who might be the person you want to embark on a lifelong story and journey with, but who also might not be that person. I say this because it is time to do the body work to integrate this new love identity. I do think that there are great experiences here to be had for you, for the opening of the heart, for a blossoming of love. You might meet a person already before the Venus retrograde. This might be during the Venus retrograde. We always say no surgery, new love affairs, be cautious. Now you are cautious with love naturally. Whether you're a Venus Capricorn or a Sun Capricorn, you take it as a serious matter, and that's not going to change. But I do feel that there is a wonderful thing that has happened to you, and that the way you love now is completely different. And this vanishing of guilt in regards to relationships that you have because of, you feel that there is a duty, this is going to change completely. Whether that is like because of your culture where you grew up, your parents, the duty that you have there, this is going to be beautified, and there's going to be a vanishing of that guilt, if there is any of that left, entirely. I also see that this listening differently is going to really speak to you, and where formerly you might have made a quick judgment, you are going to pause and actually hear, this person is not saying that, and I would have heard this in a completely different way before. So that's a really great evolution for you, Capricorn. Keep it going. Please comment below how this is going for you. I don't know when you will be listening to this, but I always love to read you. Aquarius, Sun, Venus rising. Interesting, this transit for you. It's going to be quite peculiar and really beautiful. There is a memory of something that didn't work out in the past that is going to be beautified here. To begin with, there is a commitment to a new lifestyle in which you took the first steps of building this in 2020, and now this is going to blossom in all its glory. On a relationship level, there is a beautification of the past being done, and this can be through art. This can be a passion project, something that you really were invested in with love that is receiving a rebirth, and this time around you give it a skin, you give it a jacket, it's a finished product, and it goes out in the world, and it's part of who you are, and it will shape you within the world and probably also bring you abundance. So I would really look at that. If there is something that you really loved in the past and that you were building and then somehow you dropped it, I feel that this can receive a new and a fresh look from yourself at who you really are right now. Also, in love, this can transpire in someone or several people of the past coming back to you. But you will receive them from your new point of view, from the boundaries that you have set in relationship and the big karmic clean out you were a part of. And you did so much of that in 2020, and it was difficult and it was cold. And now with this new energy and Venus beautifying that journey that you passed through and the endings that have already happened, well, if this is a person of the past returning during this Venus retrograde, a literal person you have met in this life, because past life lovers might also come in, then you will have a long-term vision of your love life, and you will naturally be very confident on how to deal with this. And forgiveness and compassion, yes, they will re-enter your life. Where you had to learn no, the word yes can enter again, and that's really lovely. So you will be able to judge for yourself, like, do I want to give this person a second chance? However, the idea of second chances with someone where there was a grief involved and there was definite loss involved, or an ending, this person was not in your life anymore, this can be beautified, and that's really wonderful, Aquarius. If it resonates, do drop me a line below, and we can look in depth together if you would wish that. Now, the next sign I'm going to look at is Pisces. So for you, it's really interesting to see like how you defined yourself in terms of the people and the community you were a part of. Ask yourself in 2020, how did you see yourself? And it will be interesting during this Venus retrograde to honor the friends and the acquaintances and the networking that you did, where there was an uplift. Like, it seems that an appreciation of how far you have come, in terms of what you always envisioned for yourself, and a beautification of your long-term goals and aspirations are on the menu here, but looking at how far you have come and all the people that have supported you in that, and all the people that have been part of this journey. This will be really, really wonderful. I do see that there are friends of the past that are going to be on your mind, friendships actually that might have ended, or this can be also, it can be love-wise, in a sense that you had a great love for these people and they were your friends as well. And I do feel that there is this idea of like, oh wow, I thought I would have known this person for my entire life, but actually there's a whole group of new people, and getting really realistic about Who are the people that I love now? And can I be present with that and work with that towards a really beautiful future for myself? And maybe there are some adjustments that can be done towards what is my actual long-term goal, and is it substantial? Like, is there substance in it? Am I getting distracted? Am I getting confused about what it is that I'm actually after, and defining it on a feeling level? That's what I feel this transit will bring for you. Then Aries. Aries, there is something that you, something about your legacy is questioned here, and questioned in like how visible, like it's possible that you made yourself a lot more visible in the world, or that there was your image, or who you are in society, that has undergone a change, that you have undergone a change in career in the last year. So actually redefined your whole identity towards the world. And there might be some kind of spiritual purpose underneath that is there, and then you will be working with that and beautifying that. If that is not the case, however, you will want to investigate that and look at that. For example, if you've been, this can also be on a personal level, relationship level, if you've been single for a really long time, or you've been in short-term things all the time, and you actually want something substantial, this will be the time for you to consider what do I need to introduce in my reality and in the way I present myself to others for that to be happening. Then the other thing can happen as well, like you can move in with someone or change your relationship status from single to married, or from married to, you could be separated as well from a relationship that is a bit, that is no longer serving you, you as a human being in what you want to leave as a legacy to the world. So that's what I got for you. Maybe more things will come through in the next video. I will link everything below, of course. And then we move to Taurus. Taurus. There's going to be a lot of attention on you and on what you represent in the world. So you are meant to use your energy and to show yourself now. This is about the way you have matured over lifetimes, your spiritual knowledge, what you come with. There's something that you will understand, that you are meant to learn about how this universe and this reality works. There's a huge download about the cosmic law I'm feeling for you. There's also a higher learning. Some of you might really want to travel, go somewhere, and study something that maybe getting deeper into your lineage, or even just a foreign culture that you feel really instinctively related to. Now, you want to envision, like there's something greater you want to discover about life. And I think that's really beautiful here within this process, because this will promote some kind of retreat within your mind, where you can actually embrace a philosophy that really works for you. It's a deeper understanding of life. I'm really liking this for you. And I do think that there will be a great communion with your experience. Something also musical, like I see a lot of for Taurus, and because there's something with the voice as well in Capricorn, and Taurus is about speaking your truth, about who you authentically are. So artistically, there might be something with music, a musical talent from a past life that you might birth anew in a new way, and that can be really, really wonderful. So I look forward to hear your music, to hear your sound, Taurus. Gemini. For Gemini, this is going to be psychologically quite intense. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, because there is something that is being communicated between the soul and the personality, and you're gonna want to start to act from the soul. This can have like many expressions, of course. This might be a deep dive into psychology, a deep dive into sexuality, your intimate life. This might be about finances that you share with someone, or finances that you have somewhere in bigger institutions, in corporations. Now I'm bringing it to money, but it might be something with taxes. There can be sudden gains. There can be this kind of sudden gains as well, but also like situations where you have to make a decision and have to trust. And there is something to be beautified about that. Like, you're going to discover if there are still, if there are any codependent tendencies within you that are related to the mother and father wound that you carry. You will be working with those, I feel, and that's really great. That's a great way to spend this Venus retrograde. Just knowing that you are guided, that Venus is with you in this, and that there is help everywhere, and that you can reach out if necessary. For some people, for some Gemini, this is going to really open up some kind of interest in the occult, in maybe in astrology, in some kind of spiritual practice that will help you and assist you throughout this period. Some of us might be even teaching that to others, or be sharing that with others, and then it will be more on a sort of one-on-one basis. So some of the Gemini people might get really into one-on-one relationships and consultations with other people. This can be also an invitation. Maybe you yourself will develop a relationship with a therapist, or you yourself will want to become a therapist, whatever healing modality you will use. Cancer. There is something about, for you it's going to be all about relationships, and the relationship you are in, whether that is still functional for you or not. The relationship you want to be in. You're gonna see yourself through the others, and I feel that you are going to really reform your love identity, just like Capricorn. But there will be also things that you will be like, okay, here in the past I didn't close this. This is not done. And you might want to reopen that. There's also something about contracts that you have. So for some Cancer, this is a commitment that is being made. Buying a house, building a house, really taking it to the next level with a loved one, and doing the work around that, deepening a relationship. For others, this might mean that you are moving on, and that you are redefining yourself. Now, this will be, if that's the case, there will be a period of deep introspection. Of course, this plays out differently depending on your natal chart, the healing work that you have done, where you are at this time. So this can all be, this can all play out different ways. What I want to say is that there will be a focus on the people you have loved on a one-on-one basis, very deeply and intimately. So that can be a really beautiful journey, and it might also inspire you to write about that, think about that, have some new ideas, some fresh ideas, and if there are closures and goodbyes to be said, that you will undertake some action, because you will feel deep within you that that is the bridge to the next most beautiful version of you. Then we move to Leo. Leo, I feel that you are going to want to work with people. There is something about working with a lot of people that is coming up. People from the past, people you already communed with. There's artistic creation that is being spread out now to the people, to the public, getting help with that, getting help for that. There's also something that comes up with if you have a pet, for example, there might be it might be that you have to take care of that pet, or that there is a that you're going to get a pet and have a deeper relationship with the animal kingdom. For some of us, this might be some shadow work, plant medicine is something that comes up. But for Leo, the integration is in the body. You want to live it in the flesh. So however this comes out, right, whether that is spreading, like bringing your artwork out there, whether that is the relationship to a child that is being beautified, or whether that is you finally getting a dog and you've wanted a dog for so long and you're just doing it, and then, or you know, just magically happens and you build that relationship, or you caring for a pet that has been with you for a long time, and really coming to learn a lot through that process of relating to an animal, as because in a way our animals, the ones that we have a relationship with them, and these relationships are such a mirror of who we are and how we care and how we love. So for you, what's transpiring for this season of Venus in Capricorn is looking at how you love in all aspects of your life, and also you will bring a lot of that love and heart that you have in your service to the people. I see you actually, if you're in a healing profession, you will have a lot of work, Leo. The healing arts, anything you can explore there, also working with the subconscious and everything that goes with integrating in the body. So however that is read for you as you hear my words. Then we move on to Virgo. Virgo, there's something about your business, or you maybe going to start a business, or you have started a business in 2020, or you have changed something about your business, or you wanted to introduce something new in your business, and now you are going to, or if you have introduced something new in your business, you're going to see the fruits of that. Otherwise, you are going to want to go look at that. Also, there's something about a relationship, soulmate relationship, or a relationship that really touched your soul, that there could have been an ending in 2019, in 2020, or somebody who brought something new, a new soulmate relationship that you brought into your life, or that you attracted into your life in 2020, which will receive the touch of Venus. So there might be some grieving to do around that, or there might be actually a blossoming of that love. So however that is going to transpire, you know, this is on all levels. Like it's your creations, it's your romance, and your romantic life is your creation in a way too. And I feel you're going to get some deeper insights on that. Maybe there is also going to be some deep-rooted feelings that you had not surfaced yet, that have the opportunity during the Venus retrograde to surface. And this about your soul connections, your soulmates, those your soul group, those people who travel with you through time. And I do feel that there will be deeper insights on that, and you might actually have the opportunity to beautify a relationship, or want to reach out to someone who is special to you and who was special, but maybe you have not communicated that fully to yourself or to the other. Then with Libra, this is touching the foundations of your soul, and it might not have been the easiest year for you, 2021. I feel that for Libras, what's interesting is that, of course, Venus and Libra, they are so connected. But with it being in Capricorn, with Venus being in Capricorn, there's a sort of conflict between what you want to build and how you experienced love at the foundations of your being in your childhood. So I see a revisiting of that. And this is wonderful because it will allow you to rewrite the story and to really look at things from a different perspective, and to, if you had a really beautiful childhood, wonderful, to integrate that. If it wasn't so beautiful, to integrate that as well. There's something about your roots, where you come from, that is being beautified, and something about the land as well. The land you come from, there might be a need for a change there, and that's something that will come up during this retrograde. Something also about your emotional intimacy, like how easily you share, the people you can share with. There might be a conflict between who you think you are, or how you define yourself, and how you share yourself with others based on where you come from. So there's something about the father and the mother here, I would say, that you can look at from a different perspective. And there's some healing, ancestral healing to be done. But this is also, I mean, this can be expressed in a different way, in a sense that there might be hidden feelings, things you pushed away, that are now going to resurface, but not in such a painful way. If this is something you've already been working with, you have the opportunity here during this Venus in Capricorn season to actually reshape the future and design it for yourself, how it's going to be, how, if you what is the next legacy for the lineage, you know, and how that will be different from the way things were done in the past. And that's a really important point that Venus is making here for you. So I am with you in that. It's going to be a very interesting period, I feel. I would love to look at some Libra Venus and Libra Sun charts, Libra Ascendant charts, if this resonates with you. Scorpio. So for you, this is about experience. I feel like you want to have some new experiences, or you will have some new experiences in love, in life, with soul friends, in the neighborhood. This can be about rediscovering an old neighborhood and going back from where you come, being called back. Maybe you were living in a foreign land and now come back to closer to where you lived your own childhood. And this can also be through the parental relationship. If you are a parent, is that you're going to see your own childhood, but through the eyes of your own child, or vice versa, you're going to see it through your parents' eyes. It's going to be an interesting inspiration for your mental style. I do feel you will be working with language, the merging of the higher and the lower self, maybe learn an instrument, learn a new skill. This is really great period for discipline. So for you, it can be about like fun as well, like talking, acting, playing, how you did that in the past, how you're gonna do that now. And remember, I mentioned something about a new style of humor. And this can speak to you really particularly, Scorpio, to introduce a lightness of being in your interactions with others. That's going to be more and more important. It doesn't have to be always that intense. And I feel like you, although many people will have encountered like twin experiences or doubles over the last year and a half, for you this is not completely done. Like, we're gonna have a switch of the nodes and move towards something else experientially and karmically and within the collective. But for you, you might still be in that space where you encounter people where you're like, oh, this was me last year, or this could be me in the future, or this is me right now. Thank you for the beautiful mirror. And to be able to interact lightly, and to build new relationships. I see new friendships for you as well. Of course, this might be temporary, and you will have this within you, like, okay, you will know which relationships that matter to you, but your perspective might shift. You might be in the zone right now when you're watching this video, or before Venus goes retrograde, and build this whole new network of new experiences with new people. And then during the retrograde, there is some kind of evaluation of that, and choosing, Scorpio choosing what you will stick with. And but this is going to work well together, because Venus in Capricorn is sextiling your sign. So I think all in all, this is going to be a wonderful season for Scorpios. There's a lot of light in it and possibility to develop that. Then last but definitely not least, Sagittarius. For you, Sagittarius, I see abundance, but you have to enter into action and engage. There is something about you being able to attract what you want now. I see that you are rebudgeting, rearranging your money mindset, rearranging as well your energetic wallet. There might be some kind of thing that is going to transpire, where you are able to access your own energy differently. And this is really, really wonderful. I also feel that for you, you will feel beautiful, and others will be magnetically attracted to you. And this will increase your self-worth, and it will be fully integrated during this Venus retrograde, when you will actually see, like, okay, how did I present myself differently to receive all this loving interest of other people in me now? Because I'm talking about beauty as an energetic thing, as the energy you bring into a room, the way you walk into a room. And you know how to walk into a room, you also know how to leave it. You know when the party's over, but you know where the party is, most definitely. And with Venus being there in Capricorn for so long, you seem to be able to attract some resources towards you, which is really, really lovely. This can be some resources that are coming, like, from the family, through your parents, through your grandparents, or that are just like land or property that has been in the family. Can also be a vehicle, but like something is being received here and beautified and built. And if you invest yourself also in what unique talents do you have, like if you invest yourself in, you can get really, really good in something. Venus in Capricorn is here to bring you discipline in what is truly yours, in what is truly your talent. So yeah, that seems to be an interesting way for you to, as a mutable fire sign, to find some stability. You can find stability in the development and the beautification of your unique talent, what you are good at. I do feel that people with a Sagittarian influence, so this speaks to all people who have planets in Sagittarius, will be able to make really good use of these planets, and will receive new information from Venus, from the Pleiades, new downloads on how to utilize these talents best in the world, and to draw lavish income and abundant income through these resources. So I don't know how all of this just popped up, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to hear from you, Sagittarius. Let me know if it resonates. I thank you all so much for sticking with me until the very end here. I will link my information below if you would like to discuss with me. I'm really open to that. Also, I love to read you, so I'm very interested in this Venus in Capricorn transit and how it transpires for you. So if you leave a comment below, do mention your birthday or your sign. And do tell me what you feel about this transit. I look forward to reading it. If you have not subscribed yet, please do so. This helps me to bring the content to more people, and to spread the love of Venus. Thank you so much for being here with me. Have a beautiful rest of the night, morning, wherever you are in your day. Namaste.